Professor Hugh Freudenberg.
Professor Freudenberg has long been controversial.
A man named Hugh Freudenberg, a former immunologist who has been long controversial.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit involving the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic child patients with blood products.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit with the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic patients with blood products.
Then in 1995, he was suspended from practicing medicine and made to pay a $10,000 fine for his misuse and misprescribing of controlled drugs.
Then in 1995, he was suspended from practicing medicine and made to pay a $10,000 fine for his misuse of prescribing controlled drugs.
Okay, so I'm filming 2 videos in one day, so that's why I look the same, because listen, your girl takes a lot of effort. This is very much so not flawless. This is not effortless. This is very effortful. So when I like put a wig on and do my makeup and like try to look presentable in front of the camera, just know that this took me a lot of effort. And listen, I have filmed videos in a bonnet before, and it just is what it is. So I'm gonna try to batch film because I know myself, because I'm not gonna sit down in front of a camera like this for quite a while. So, one thing I want to talk about in my last video. First of all, let me do an intro. I don't really have an official intro, so I'm working on it. Be patient with me. Hello, my name is Brianna, aka Slow Reader. If you're new here, on my channel, I basically do book reviews, and I do like commentary / drama videos every now and then about stuff that like I feel particularly passionate about or just want to like rant about. Listen, a lot of my friends aren't necessarily into like drama videos, so I need an outlet to like talk about this stuff. So that's why I do these videos sometimes. Anyways, if you're new here and you'd like to subscribe, go ahead. Just know that my schedule is very inconsistent, so you might not see a post from me from like several months from now, so just be warned about that. But yeah, today I would like to talk about the Illuminaughtii drama. If you don't know, Illuminaughtii is basically a content creator here on YouTube, and most of her content is basically like calling out scammers type of content, essentially like calling out bad businesses, anti-MLM, which is basically anti-multi-level marketing or anti-pyramid scheme type of content, and like lots of that pretty much. She just calls out like bad businesses, bad business practices, lawsuits, stuff like that. I'm gonna try to go in chronological order, but I'm gonna give you a precursor to some of the issues that I was aware of that she was into before I like go to present day. So basically what's coming up now is her drama with another content creator called Cruel World Happy Mind. And I believe what's her real name? I wrote it down. Madison. So just for context, a lot of people refer to Illuminaughtii as Blair. That's her real name, Blair. And then Cruel World Happy Mind, her real name is Madison. So if you hear me talking about Blair and Madison, that's who I'm referring to. Anyway, so Cruel World Happy Mind kind of makes like a bunch of like anti-MLM content. I don't know if she makes other stuff, because I mostly look at her anti-MLM stuff. So I apologize in advance if it's like, she didn't mention that she also does these kinds of videos. I'm sorry. Basically, Blair, so like Cruel World Happy Mind, mind you, this was like a year, 2 years ago. But basically, Madison received a lot of comments on her YouTube video of people saying that another content creator was basically like stealing her YouTube videos. And like when we talk about stealing her YouTube videos, it was like not only the research and like the video topics, because stealing a video topic really isn't that big of a deal, but like stealing like a script word for word, or even like a bunch of the research in the video, is kind of like a big deal. And Blair, which we'll get over, is guilty of stealing scripts almost word for word, which she has a team of people that do the research for her. So I don't really understand what the fuck the problem is, because it's one thing if you're just working by yourself. Not to say that plagiarism is okay if you're researching by yourself, but I'm just saying like it's a lot more work to do it as one person than have a team of people who help you research, and your team is still stealing people's the fuck is going on there? But anyway, people were leaving comments trying to let Madison know that another content creator was basically kind of like stealing her videos, which she went to her channel and left a comment, and it was a very nice comment. It wasn't like accusing or anything like that. It wasn't even that aggressive of her basically just being like, oh, I've been hearing through the grapevine This is not word for word. But like her just saying that I heard through the grapevine that like people are saying like my videos are very similar to yours, or like your videos are very similar to mine. And all she wanted was credit. Not for her to take down the video, not for her to copyright strike her, not anything like that. She was just said, I wanted credit. Because in the description of Blair's video, it was like credits coming soon or something like that. It wasn't, she hadn't credited people yet. So take that with a grain of salt. Blair, for whatever reason, then goes to her Discord. If you don't know what Discord is basically like a chat thing. It's like Skype, but for gamers. Skype, but better, pretty much. So it's like a thing for like people to talk to each other on. Mostly messaging, but you can do calls. But you can have basically like a Discord chat of like multiple people. And she goes to her Discord and talks to her mods. And she's like, who is this person? Are they a YouTuber? Which someone else said it in their video. And I'll put it up again when I think of their name because I was looking at their video. But someone said, why would you go to your Discord? Which is the same thing I said when I first saw that video. I was like, why would you go to your Discord instead of going to literally clicking on her channel? Because when someone leaves a comment, you can click on their channel and see who they are. Why wouldn't you just click on her channel and click her name and you could see her channel and see the videos that she makes? So, I don't know. And pretty much like her mods were like, this is who she is, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Now, at some point, Madison made a like a call out video about it. And again, this was around September of 2021, possibly. Don't quote me on it, because like Madison deleted her video now. But she basically made a video like talking about her experience with Blair at some point. I don't know when Madison's video happened. I think it was recent, but the drama that's being talked about is from like 2021 for context. But basically saying how like basically explaining her side of the story, which is why we have all that we have now, and then also explaining that like she like took the video down, like Madison took the video down and then like put out this weird apology, and then like on Twitter Blair was like, oh, thank you so much. Her and Madison have come to this agreement. The agreement was that if Madison took her video down, then she wasn't going to talk about her in her stream, which I'm saying like, girl, that sounds like blackmail. I don't know what made you think that was okay to talk about, but okay. So again, this is all a precursor. Just keep this in the back of your mind when I fast forward to the drama she's getting dragged for today, right? So fast forward to recent times. Now this took place on April 20th, 2023. Not Madison, I keep wanting to say Madison and it's Blair. Blair, Illuminaughtii, put out a tweet where she was basically accusing YouTuber LegalEagle, by enunciation, I apologize, LegalEagle, of stealing her editing style. If you don't know who LegalEagle is, he's literally an attorney. He's a lawyer. People have been saying that he's a copyright lawyer. I don't know if that's true because I was trying to like look it up and I couldn't see anything saying like what type of lawyer he does or what type of law he practices. But just know that he's actually a lawyer. So her like trying to call him out saying that he was like stealing from her was wild. Like I was like, girl, you got some balls on you. So she calls them out and she like calls him out for this, for stealing her editing style, which is shit I've never heard of before. So for context, Blair, LegalEagle's editor, whose name I don't know, I don't think I wrote down his editor's name, but LegalEagle's editor was in her Discord asking about an editing style. Particularly, have you guys ever watched a video or a documentary where like they show you like words like on a page and then like it highlights it basically? It highlights the words, but it's like kind of like an animation or whatever. That she claimed that they stole that from her and that they stole like a paper ripping animation that they do. We're gonna get there. So this particular editor of LegalEagle was in her Discord, and I think he was asking about the editing style, but like nobody responded to him. So then he sent Blair an email asking about it, and this is like what spun her off to basically run to Twitter. The issue with this is that LegalEagle responded and was like, we've been using this editing style 3 to 4 years before your channel even existed. So what's that about? Secondly, this editing style, first of all, you can't copyright claim an editing style. That's not how that works. Literally, so the whole plugin, the whole like highlighting animation thing is actually a common plugin that people will use depending on what video editor you use. In this case, it was DaVinci Resolve. Now, this is a plugin that anyone can download and use. It is free to use, meaning if I really wanted to, I could go on my computer right now and download DaVinci Resolve and download that plugin and show you how to do it. It's free. It's not copyrighted. It's not trademarked. Anyone can use it. Then she accuses LegalEagle of stealing it, which is completely in the wrong because at the time, the editor was asking for his personal YouTube channel, not for the official LegalEagle channel. So, again, LegalEagle brought up the whole thing of, we've been using this for years now. We've been using it before you came along. And if you really want to go there, LegalEagle didn't say this, but if you really want to go there, several even like you know, those like true crime documentaries, they do that stuff a lot. They do that whole like highlight words or whatever, or like the paper rip. That's a really common thing to do. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with her. We get into a lot more. So that was the whole thing. At some point, LegalEagle basically sent out their response the same day. And then this spawned off a series of people exposing Blair. So again, I'm going to try to go into chronological order. I'm pretty sure I have it in chronological order, but again. So we moved from April 20th to April 23rd, which a YouTuber called The Click put out a tweet where he was talking about his experience with Blair. And this comes up later on, but pretty much The Click and several other YouTubers that I will mention late in this video, part of this collab channel. So basically, a collab channel is just like if you have one YouTube channel and there are several different like YouTubers a part or who appear in that video, but then they also have like their own separate channels. It's just like a channel where they come together as a group. The Click was a part of this group, as well as it was The Click, or Click, I'm going to probably refer to him as Click, but Click, Wonder, Oz, and OneTopic, I believe, are all the people that are involved. And I know that Wonder just put out a video like earlier today or last night. I looked at most of it for the sake of getting my video out today. I don't know if I'll bring up all the points in his video, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to keep it trucking. Anyway, Click, he puts out a thread about Blair's bad behavior that came out on April 23rd. Just know that The Click put out a Twitter thread, which we're going to go over everything that was in the Twitter thread. But the reason why I'm skipping around is because he also made a video that kind of encompasses both what was said in the Twitter thread and then like other stuff. So I'm just going to divide this up by person, if that makes sense. So just know that Click put out a Twitter thread, and then this spawned off other people making their own threads. So first person up is Oz. So the day after Click put out his thread, we are now on April 24th. Oz puts out his own thread on Twitter. And it was basically going over this stuff. So let me go over it. So basically, you have the channel Sad Milk. That was the thing, right? And they were all basically a part of this channel. The issue was that no one had access to this channel besides Blair. So there's a feature on YouTube where like if you have a channel, you can put in people's emails to like make them moderators. So when they're moderators, they can log in and like upload, delete, look at comments, delete comments, edit comments, whatever it is. They can like do all the normal stuff. So it's not just one person. Blair never did this. So it was like her in complete control of everything, including the drive where all the like files to edit was stored in, which becomes an important point later. But just know that she was the only one that really had access to the channel. So yeah, but Blair basically wanted complete control over Sad Milk. And this, she says in her own words that it was because she lacked personality and wanted to like make up for it by editing for them. Keep this in mind. So this was also like reiterated in Click's thread about like only Blair having access. and no one else had access, which she never mentioned in her video. She makes a response video, which we will also talk about. But several people have like basically said the same thing. Like literally almost everyone that made a thread about her said the same thing of like she was the only one that had access. So, but then she claims that she was never paid properly as an editor, which is, the editing shit was a nightmare to go through. So basically from what I understand is that Blair was an editor, but then also like, I think, not Oz, I think Wonder did some editing he edited like 4 videos, but then Blair also outsourced editors, so like she paid a couple people to like edit videos for them, and I don't understand. But yeah, so just know that she claimed she was never paid properly as an editor, which is also weird because she was the only one that had access to the funds. So I don't understand, like, how are you not paying yourself? But okay. Oz basically said that she actually declined being paid more as an editor when it was offered, and that when she was doing most of the editing, she wouldn't give access to any of the files, but also at the same time would demand that Oz and the others, members of Sad Milk, help her edit. But it was like, how are you going to demand people help you with editing when you don't give them the files to edit in the first... So then Blair also blacklisted. So Sad Milk basically was one of those channels that like fell apart over the years. It's one of those things where it's like one person leaves and then this person leaves and then this person leaves, and the next thing you know, you look up and everybody's gone, right? Minus Blair. Literally everyone left except for Blair. Common denominator, she was a problem. But anyways, so like when a member left, she blacklisted their name, and I know that there's a way to do it in YouTube, but I forgot. Like there's a way to blacklist and then whitelist like certain words and phrases from being in a YouTube comment. So basically, like, say if I make it so that like I blacklist the word or the name Blair from YouTube comments, any comment that has the word Blair in it would not appear in the comments. It would be like held for review. So held for review just basically means that this YouTube comment is hidden until I go into my channel and approve it, or decline it, or delete it, or whatever. This was mostly made for like when like spam bots were becoming a real bad thing, but I also know you can do it for certain words and phrases. Anyway, so Blair would basically blacklist their name, manually approve any comments that was basically bad mouthing like ex-members and praising her, which honestly I'm just like, that's so fucking childish, bro. Like, and which is also a bit which is also a mess because almost all of them left because of you. But for some reason she went on this weird smear campaign after like each member left, and it's just I don't get it. So anyway, Oz admits that he was Blair's lackey and was basically being like a spokesperson and a mediator for whenever anything went wrong. So basically there were some disagreements that would happen, and they would try to get into Discord calls to basically like settle things. There's one particular Discord call in general where I don't remember who was having a disagreement, but it was 2 of the members that was having a disagreement. I think it was Wonder and like Click, and they got into a call, and Oz was there to basically like mediate, but then Blair also like told Oz to mediate because I don't fucking know. And like in the middle of them trying to work shit out, like Blair just gets on the mic and starts fucking screaming, and she's like, shut the fuck up, I'm the one talking now, and it was just like, what the fuck. So anyways, but Oz basically admitted to being not only the mediator but also like helping her in her smear campaigns. So basically like going to Reddit and like talking badly about ex-members, or like starting shit on Twitter, or like digging up into their past, which we'll get into, about like past shit that they did that was so bad and blah 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 blah, and trying to get them canceled for shit that they did like 10 years ago. Oz was helping Blair do all of this. And then like Oz pretty much ends with like apologizing and saying that he's like working on becoming a better person, and that I think he's working on his relationship with Wonder specifically. But that's that on that. So OneTopic. OneTopic also made his own Twitter thread, which also came out on April 24th, the same day as Oz's. So OneTopic basically said that he goes over like how Sad Milk kind of like became a thing, which was them coming up with the idea over Discord. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't think Sad Milk was ever a bad idea, but like people said, like I don't even know if I remember looking at all the Sad Milk like old videos, but it definitely seemed like the editing was off, the editing was weird, like not even like the editing was weird, and it just didn't feel like they got into their groove of like how they wanted their style to be. But we'll talk about that more a little later. So the main focus of OneTopic's thread basically goes over how Click's channel was deleted by YouTube with no clear reason. And there's not a lot of necessarily context, but I don't think it really matters in this situation. Just know that it was like around December, basically like right before Christmas. Right before Christmas, bitch. Anyway, that's a reference to something else. Never mind. Right before Christmas, bitch. What was I saying? Click's channel got deleted, which obviously made him upset. So like OneTopic and all the others got into like a Discord call. I think this was before Sad Milk was a thing, but don't quote me on that. Again, I don't have the timeline exactly right. But a lot of them got into a Discord call to basically comfort him and try to like get into contact with YouTube, try to help him get into contact with YouTube and get his channel back. That being said, I think that OneTopic mentioned that he like talked Click into doing a podcast to sort of like get his mind off of things. But basically all of this whole point ends with all of them like getting his channel back, and like it was an important bonding moment for basically all of them. It's still, you know, we're still into like how Sad Milk kind of like became a thing bit. So that being said, OneTopic, he tried to basically help Sad Milk work. So he moved out despite not really having the funds to do so and being like overworked, making his content for both Sad Milk and his personal channel. And let's be clear, I think that like pretty much everyone involved besides Blair talks about how they were very much so overworked and like trying to balance both Sad Milk stuff, editing for Sad Milk, editing for their own channel, trying to do Twitch, trying to do whatever, because they were still like, even in like, I think this was all in like 2021, but even back then, like all of them were still very much so new creators and still trying to like get their shit together. You're in that weird mode of like, you don't really have a lot of money, but also you're like gaining followers, so like you're trying to like make this work. And it's like a lot of them were trying to go like full-time with like the whole YouTube thing, which is also a struggle. So like I get it, keep this all in mind that like all of this extra stress is happening. But that's pretty much all I really wrote on OneTopic. Let's move on. Oh shoot. OneTopic and then Wonder. So Wonder, he made his tweet longer, responding to Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk on April 29th. So we've jumped a couple days forward. We have some notes. His is kind of like the longest thread out of all of them. So if you want to go see it for yourself, feel free, because again, I only took notes. But a couple things to go over is that he did not become an editor to cover his share of payments. So Blair, in her response video, basically tried to say that Wonder only became an editor to basically as like a form of payment. Instead of like paying his share of the rent, he would like edit videos, which is just blatantly wrong. Like Wonder said that that's completely and utterly wrong, and that he always made his payments on time. He edited a total of 3 to 4 videos for the Sad Milk channel. There was also the fact that Blair had been misusing / stealing, allegedly, supposedly, perhapsedly, do not sue me, I have no money. Blair had been allegedly, supposedly, perhapsedly misusing funds from Sad Milk and was spending it on food, cars, etc. Again, allegedly. We can neither confirm nor deny. And I mean, considering how several people have said she was the only one who had access to the money, like, but also allegedly. Anyway, Wonder talks about how he only had one roommate. And I think this was because Blair says something, and again, this is fuzzy, but Blair says something about like how he had all these roommates and he hated all of them and blah, 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 blah. And like Wonder was like, I only had one roommate, but okay. Which I remember Wonder talking about how the whole roommate situation deal was that he lived in Austin, Texas for a little while, and how like ridiculously expensive it is to live in Austin. And I was like, oh, it's more like expensive to live there than like where I'm at, and I'm in a pretty major city. I don't want to tell you where I live, but pretty major city myself. So I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. But and like pretty much like anyone who lives in Austin like pretty much hates it, and it's kind of like a normal thing, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah, and it's just like the culture. Like unless you're already rich, like it takes a certain person to like be into Austin, whatever, right? So at some point, Wonder moves out to Austin, Texas. When I believe he's from like Colorado Springs or something like that, but or is it the opposite way around? Don't quote me on it. I don't remember. But essentially, like he moved out there and he was sharing a house with Blair. So like Blair was pretty much his landlord and he was paying rent to her. So Blair was pretty much his employer, but he was also like getting some money from like YouTube and I think like Twitch and stuff like that. But like Blair was also like his boss technically. And then at some point she also leased him a car, and like I don't really know how all the car stuff works, but pretty much Blair was like, and I believe Wonder talked about this in his video today, but pretty much like Blair bragged about how she has so much disposable money and she has so many BMWs and whatnot, and she can like buy another one to give to him or something like that, which he was like, I guess he said he was like 18, 19 at the time and he didn't really know what he was doing. But it's also weird to be like, oh, I have so much money that I can just buy another BMW, but also I'm gonna lease it to you, so you have to pay for it. So I'm like, okay, you should have made that clear from the jump, but whatever. So she gets this really expensive BMW and basically like leases it out to him, so he has to make payments on the car. Now mind you, she's his boss, she's his landlord, and she leased him a car. She is in control of 3 major aspects of this man's life. And I'm sitting here like, how did you not see the red flag? Listen, if no one told you before, I'm going to tell you now. No one person should have that much control over your life, period. Do not allow someone to have control over your finances, over your living situation, or over your car. No one should have that much control over your life, period. It's the same thing with and this is a side note, but fucking Google trying to make employee apartments. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, so Blair essentially has almost control over this entire man's life, and we see how it falls apart in just a second. Blair basically like talks about how she wanted like short clips edited, and she like, first of all, she basically accuses saying that Wonder was like this terrible employee and was refused to edit and yada yada yada, and how she was like his job wasn't even that hard, he only had to edit short clips. But Wonder comes out and basically says that she actually wanted 20 to 40 minute videos edited, which is weird because she wanted 20 to 40 VODs edited, 40-minute VODs, but she also never streamed. And if you don't know what a VOD is, it's like video on demand or something like that. But it's basically like after you stream, your stream will be saved as a video that you can like download and then edit to like put on a different platform. But I was like, how is he gonna get the VOD when you don't stream? So, okay, she didn't stream and she didn't have a consistent schedule for like streaming or uploading. And then apparently she still complained about Wonder not meeting deadlines. But it's like, how can you have a deadline how do you have a deadline for a video when you don't stream and you don't have a consistent schedule? That's like if I go at somebody knowing my history with my consistency on my channel and be like, oh, well, you didn't upload this video on May 29th, so now I'm going to be mad at you when, bitch, I haven't even been on YouTube in the past 2-3 years. So she did that. She didn't have a consistent schedule, and then she also tried to turn around and say that Wonder was asking her for help for like cars or living situations, and basically she came to him on his hands and knees begging. I'm exaggerating, but basically like trying to make it seem as though like he was begging Blair for stuff, and she just did this shit out of the kindness of her heart. And Wonder was like, no, she did this all on her own. I didn't ask her for anything. So I don't know, take that for what you will. Some people consider the fact of if I come up to you and I say, oh, things are so hard, I can't pay my rent, someone will take that and think that it means I'm asking them for help. That's not asking for help. Just bringing it up isn't asking for help. So it's up to your interpretation of that. I don't know if maybe he just brought it up and Blair took it that way, or if it was truly just like he didn't say anything at all and she just took it upon herself and then, you know, lied about the situation. I think that the second one is more likely. Allegedly, supposedly, perhaps, don't sue me, I have no money. Anyway, so let's get into the car stuff, which is an ongoing legal case. So I'm going to tiptoe very carefully about all of this. But I'm just going to go over what Wonder has talked about and what Wonder has confirmed so far. So again, allegedly, supposedly, perhaps admittedly, don't sue me, I have no money. Anyway, so there was a contract that Blair had him sign, which is so confusing to me because this contract stuff came up after Wonder was going to leave. So essentially, Wonder was living with Blair, and then at some point he was fired from Sad Milk, which there's a whole bit where he tries to explain like how he got his severance, and I'm like, I don't get it. So, but was fired from Sad Milk for what we stated earlier, not meeting deadlines and all this shit and da 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 da, right? So she randomly comes up to him and is like, well, you need to either leave and stay somewhere else, or you can leave and like go stay with your dad. So he was like, I'm gonna leave for a few days and go stay with your dad, but essentially she was like, you have to leave like now, or within like the next 2 days, I think. 10 days. So he does that, but before he leaves, she makes him sign this contract. And the contract is pretty much that she is no longer going to lease the car out to him, but he's just going to pay depreciation value because he didn't want the car anymore. He was going to give it back. So he signs this. Mind you, if you see a picture of the contract, it is very much so like the least legally binding shit I've ever seen before. It very much so looks like she opened up Google Docs or opened up fucking Microsoft Word and typed this shit up and then would say her like sign here and just thought that that shit would be legally binding. Look, y'all, just typing something up on a piece of paper does not automatically mean that it's gonna be legally binding. That shit is so fucking embarrassing. What you should have did is called up a lawyer, because I know you have one because you're in a lawsuit right now. Called up your lawyer and be like, hey, type something up for me. You're paying him anyway. Like, oh my god, I cannot. Could you imagine? I'm sure that people have done this before, but could you imagine someone typing something up in fucking Microsoft Word and handing it to you and being like, that's a legally binding contract, girl, and you're like, I'm sorry. Okay, I gotta move on. We gotta go. So the contract is technically not legally binding, which has been reviewed by Wonder's father, who is an ex-police officer, a contract writer, which I think is like a family friend of his, and then also a lawyer. So like 3 people have looked over this shit and been like, no, this is not legally binding. So again, that shit is so fucking embarrassing, bro. Anyway, Blair also tried to say that like Wonder didn't have insurance on the car, which he did. So, and then, oh, this was it. The car was never registered in Austin, Texas. It was registered in Colorado Springs. So I think this has to do with Blair trying to get the car back, trying to say that like, oh, well, it's registered in Austin, Texas, and better, but the car was never registered in Austin, Texas. So she tried to say that like, because it was registered in Austin, Texas, it needs to go back, but like it was never registered there. It was registered in Colorado, where Wonder originally lived. Girl, mama, where's the paperwork for this shit? Agreed to pay depreciation value. I talked to you about that already. And then Wonder at some point asked to see like what he was like legally bound to. So essentially he was trying to see the paperwork that said the official like price of the car, value of the car, in order to compare it to the depreciation value that Blair typed up in fucking Word doc and just said this is how much the depreciation value is, which if you trust her on that, so I would ask for the original value of the car too. Anyway, he asked for the original value of the car to see that paperwork, and like people just, literally nobody gave it to him, which he talks about in his video. But when he asked to see it, they just sent him that fucking Google Doc ass contract again. I'm sorry, I am so floored by this shit. This fucking Google Doc ass fucking document. This fucking Microsoft Word. I'm sorry. This shit is so fucking embarrassing, bro. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. Wonder is now back in Colorado Springs, all the way back home with his dad. Blair flies her ass out to fucking Colorado Springs She doesn't tell anybody she does this shit. She flies out to Colorado Springs, somehow shows up to Wonder's house in the middle of the night. Mind you, he's sleeping. So him and his dad are fucking sleeping. She shows up in the middle of the house and takes the car. And so like he wakes up and the fucking car is gone, bro. And I'm not laughing at, I'm not trying to laugh at Wonder. I know this shit is fucking, this shit is a terrible thing to go through. And it's no laughing matter. I'm laughing because of the insane shit that fucking Blair did. So, mind you, at the time, Wonder is like living, obviously Wonder went from living with Blair to like being at his dad's house and like technically being homeless. So like all of his shit was in the car. All of his belongings were in the car. And we're talking about like expensive shit. His clothes, his computer, his cameras, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit. At first I was kind of like, well, why was all this shit in the car? He was living out of his car pretty much. So Blair takes the car back with all this stuff, and then like later on she tries to be like, well, the car was in such a bad state and he trashed it and girl, you kicked him out of his house, so obviously he was gonna live in the car, and then you fucking took the car back. You are a petty raggedy son of a bitch, you know that? You are a petty raggedy motherfucker. You ain't shit ass YouTuber, shitty YouTuber. Oh my fucking god. Anyway. Whew. So I'm getting to the point. I promise you I'm getting to the point. Get to the point, Brianna. She takes the fucking car. At this point, the lawsuit has begun. Wonder then sends Blair multiple like demands, mind you, legal demands. He actually got a lawyer, so these are legal demands. This ain't no fucking Google Docs no more. This ain't no fucking Microsoft Word ass document anymore. But multiple legal demands for her to return the belongings, because at this point, fuck the car, but return his belongings, right? Blair at some point said she was gonna like send it when he asked her, but she never did, and then he sent her like multiple legal demands, and then like have also gone unanswered, allegedly, supposedly, perhaps admittedly. Listen, I have no money, do not sue me. But that was everything that was in his thread, and pretty much like most of the stuff was reiterated in his video. Again, I've seen most of his video. If you want to check out his video, it'll be up here or down there in the description. I'll have it somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty much like all the Wonder stuff wrapped up into one. Last person. Whew, last person. Now we are on April 28th. This is where Blair apologizes to LegalEagle in the DMs, and then she tweets out the DMs of her apology. She makes a public tweet about it, basically just saying that like they squashed her, she apologized, something like that, whatever. Then also on April 28th, she makes a response video that she puts up on her channel, which at this point is a little old because she's right now Blair's just like uploading videos like nothing ever happened, and it's kind of like, girl, they're dragging you, and they've been dragging you for the past like 3 weeks. The number of people that made videos about Illuminati is ridiculous, and they are still making like update video after update video after update video. They have been dragging her for 3 weeks now. It's about to be, I think after this week it'll be like a month, but I'm just like, and every time I think that this is over and done with and everyone has said their piece, someone else jumps in. Literally, it was like the Click, and then Wonder, and then Oz, and then it was like Cruel World, Happy Mind, and I swear to God, I feel like Jesus, Mary, and Joseph is gonna have a fucking exposed video on her ass soon. But let me get through the clip. So she makes this response video, which we basically talked about most, if not all of it. We're gonna get into the clicks portion of it, but just know that pretty much her response video was trash. Nobody really liked it. I'm pretty sure she moderates heavily in those comments, because I don't remember seeing a lot of negative comments in the comment section, but I could be wrong by now. But so Click makes the Twitter thread also on April 28th, basically giving his responses and his reaction to her video. And then fast forward to May 2nd, where he makes his own video talking about everything. So the Click. So first things first, I'll eat your brains. Then I will be rocking gold teeth and chains. Again, Blair claimed that she was never paid properly as an editor, which the Click also brings up. She declined being paid more as an editor when she was doing most of the editing. Yet again, she still wouldn't give access to the other members. So I don't really know how you expect someone to do the editing when you don't give them files to edit in the first place. Blair seemed to have a habit of going on a revenge rampage after each member of Sad Milk left. We talked about that. Doing everything she can to basically convince people that they were the problem and that they're bad people and yada yada yada, which we will get into. So one of the things that she did to to Click specifically was after Click left Sad Milk. I'm trying to be so serious. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm very serious. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. I'm serious right now. Blair, we gotta cut it. We gotta go. Blair paid someone $200 to basically dig into Click's content to find something to cancel him over. And when I tell you I'm not joking, I am not joking. This person dug back 10 years into his YouTube channel, and all he could find was a clip. And it's unclear whether it was Click saying this or someone in the background, but basically there's two things. So I believe that he was accused of saying the N-word, which I don't think he ever said. It was like someone that happened to be in the video, like so like, you know how like you go into a video game and it's like a public lobby and like you match up with random people. It was like someone random in the lobby that like said it, and it was just like, okay, but that has nothing to do with him. And most you could be like, he could have like censored it or cut it from the video, but again, that's not really his fault. So okay. The other thing was that he said the R slur, which is problematic. But the thing is that his Click's first language is not English. So when he came out in his video and was saying like, I didn't know the meaning of that word, it's literally because he didn't fully understand like English. So in that case, I would give him a pass. It's a whole different other situation if your first language is English, but in his case, he didn't really like know English that well, apparently. So I'm not gonna fault him for that. If you want to be mad about it, again, I'm not gonna stop you. So yeah, but that's that on that. So basically, that was like Blair's expose on paying someone to basically do her job for her. Cause let's be real, Blair, that's all Blair does all fucking day is like try to cancel old members or people that she felt spited her. So girl, anyway, let's also talk about the fact of she wasn't done. The other big thing in her video was the fact that Click had a Discord channel. Mind you, this is his personal Discord channel. This is for his personal Click stuff, right? His Click, it has nothing to do with Sad Milk. Somehow, some way, Blair finds out that there was an incident in Click's personal Discord channel that had nothing to do with Sad Milk. There was an individual in that Discord channel where I think it was like a 21-year-old guy basically admitting to be a PDF file. So Blair went across the internet trying to say that, oh, well, they didn't do anything about this and yada yada yada. He created this environment that was dangerous to minors and right? And how Blair is the one that's gonna call out and expose and be Captain fucking Save-A-Ho against basically creating this sort of environment or whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, okay. So first things first, she tries to claim that like nothing was done about this basically creepo. Thing is that Blair, he was in multiple of he was in the Sad Milk Discord, Blair's Discord, and Click's Discord. I don't know why he was in this many Discords, but go off. So Blair banned him from the Sad Milk Discord and her personal Discord. Now when it came to Click's Discord, apparently she tried to claim that he wasn't banned right away and blah 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 blah. The thing was that he was banned. Click didn't know about it because it happened 3 a.m. his time. So his moderators banned him, and he found out about everything that went down when he woke up in the morning, not at 3 a.m. Dude, Illuminaughtii is so fucking goofy. That's coming from a goofy bitch. She is so fucking goofy. anyway, so this was her big exposed thing, right? This shit is so fucking embarrassing. So that was the story of the fucking Discord bullshit. Girl, the smear campaigns, it's all there. Allegedly, supposedly, perhaps Italy, don't sue me, I have no money. The other thing was that Blair tried to say that Click continued to use the R slur and the N word like up until this day, or up until 2020, which is also just provably false. So I don't know what that's about. But that's pretty much everything that I think I have on Blair. Couple of things, because she has also been known to, and these are like more smaller things that I feel like probably doesn't need a whole video dedicated to it, but she does also have a history of like going off on fans, blocking them, sassing them, and if she doesn't do it, then she tells somebody else in her corner to do it. Let's be clear about that, because before it was Oz, then it was like someone named the manager or some shit, who was like, basically, I don't understand the whole, and I think she's trying to take a page out of Jeffree Star's book, where it's the whole thing of being snappy and rude and mean to your own followers, and I'm like, that shit is not fucking cute. These are the same people who support you, who will sit there and buy your shit when you put out your fucking merch, who will sit here and buy your fucking wonky ass plushies, who will sit here and buy your fucking whatever the fuck you putting out this week, and you want to turn around and be fucking rude and nasty and mean to them. And then every other day she's talking about, oh, well, I have 1 million followers. I manage a channel with 1 million followers and da-da-da-da-da. I said, baby, those 1 million followers, you can lose them as quickly as you got them. Pissed off the wrong people and fuck around and find out. So, again, you want to be subscribed to somebody who disrespects you on a constant basis, that's your prerogative. I don't do that shit around here. But she has been losing subscribers. Last time I heard, which was a couple days ago, she's lost up to 10,000 subscribers, which I know isn't that much in the grand scheme of things with her having 1 million followers, but I don't know, unless she does something to save her ass, she might slowly bleed out into irrelevancy, which has happened to a couple of people out here in these YouTube streets. That being said, I just wanted to kind of like go over all this because I think Blair is, for lack of a better term, unhinged. I don't know what she's got going on with her mental health, and I am not here to speculate. People have thrown around a whole bunch of different stuff, and quite frankly, I'm not in the business of diagnosing people. I'm not a healthcare professional. I am not a mental health professional. So, but you know, her behavior is unhinged. Her behavior is ridiculous. She tries to act like she works so hard and she's so fucking stressed when literally all you do is steal videos. Almost forgot about that. So her whole thing of stealing videos, people have called her a hypocrite because Blair has been caught stealing videos. And when I say stealing videos, she literally stole like word for word from a documentary about, it was like something about autism, and like she stole word from word for the script of the video. And so people were like, what the fuck, like how can you call out LegalEagle when you're doing this shit? So take that for what you will. She tries to act like she's so hardworking when literally like all she has to do is, you know, boot up her computer and speak into a fucking microphone, because she doesn't show her face, she doesn't edit, and she doesn't do research. So I'm saying, like, so what do you do that's so hard? And you're out here bragging about having 1 million subscribers. I don't know. Again, I don't consider myself the most hardworking YouTuber out there either. My videos don't even have that much editing put into it, but I'm doing my own editing, I'm doing my own scripts, I'm doing my own research, and like I do all this shit myself. But I just don't understand this whole grandiose sense of self when you're not doing shit. But okay, so again, good luck out there in them YouTube streets. That's my 2 cents. She's got to really learn how to treat people better, and like if she wants to be basically just like a content farm, she can do that. But I just feel like you should really tone down on how you treat other content creators and other YouTubers. Speaking of which, she has a little nasty habit, because I think she did it to Click and I think she did it to Tipster, don't quote me on this, but she has a little nasty habit of going into other people's channels and fucking deleting like videos that have to do with her in it because they had a falling out or whatever. And I'm like, girl, you don't do that shit either, because like you gonna fuck around and find out. You start deleting videos that aren't really your own, you might catch yourself in another lawsuit. That being said, like YouTubers fall out all the time, and like those videos still stay up. I don't really see the point of being that petty about it, but it is what it is. People have said several times that Blair is a fucking control freak and she feels the need to control every aspect of everything all the time. Which, listen, being petty for 2 seconds, you can't be a control freak and fucking lazy at the same time. Pick a struggle. Pick one. Pick one. Either you're a control freak or you're lazy. But she needs to fix the whole control freak thing. I don't know what that's about. And again, I'm the last person to judge anybody. But that needs to be fixed. Fix how you treat people, especially your subscribers and other content creators, because you fuck around. Let's be real. And in this sort of content creation, Hollywood industry, your relationships mean a lot. You get into drama with the wrong person or you get canceled by the wrong person, you can get blacklisted. And you don't want that. So, again, I'm pretty sure she's still up on her high horse because she's still got 1 million something subscribers. But, you know, good luck with that. That being said, that was all my 2 cents I wanted to have on this video. If you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching. Please like it. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends. If you do subscribe, just know that my schedule is very inconsistent. So you might not see me for several other months. That being said, look out for my book review, which will be less stressful for me. At least I hope so. With everything going on in that book, I don't think I'm going to have a stress-free time. But basically, look out for my Lord of the Flies book review that's coming out. I got like a tablet e-book reader thing. I can't even think of what, Amazon Fire. And it's been great. Listen to the ebook because that's the only way I can get through the book, because I don't, listen, I'm not going to say I have ADHD, but I tend to have some tendencies, and I was really struggling. So yeah, it's easier for me to kind of like listen and read at the same time. So that's what I'm up doing. I remember trying to read The Great Gatsby before because I didn't like that book and I was trying to give it a second chance, so that I might come around to like finishing that, because I was like halfway through and then I stopped because I got really busy. Anyway, yeah, and I'm gonna end the video because I have a shit ton of editing to do because I talked for literally like 2 hours and I'm done and I need to drink some water. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.
My darling, I love you, I love you, I love you.